There certainly will be robots that people fall in love with. That's exactly who I used to be. I was ungrateful. I wanted more, I had to have more. And that's the best formula for increasing your influence. These social media platforms that we have today are just simply trying to exploit me.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blair, New York Times bestselling author and serial entrepreneur. I've had $2 billion in sales and $1 billion in exits. And today I'm going to share with you some information that's going to help you become more successful as an entrepreneur. I hope you enjoy.
How is AI going to change the personal development industry? The personal development industry is extremely antiquated. It's very old school. There's not a lot of innovation going on. I think it'll be a while until the personal development industry changes because the people within it are very legacy driven. They're just old school. They're not forward-thinking, technology-built companies. And so as a result, they're very antiquated. They make you read a book to maybe get one answer that you're looking for. And AI will be able to shortcut that and be able to find information out of all of the books on the planet and deliver to you the exact wisdom that you need. Signs an organization doesn't appreciate their employees/workers. They're keeping them up all night long, demanding of them, stressing them out, not being sensitive to their stress, criticizing, gossiping, tolerating a culture that is toxic in their behaviors, not seeking to constantly improve the culture, not communicating, not providing vision to the culture, not upgrading the team, upgrading the members of the team, and constantly investing in the team. Those are the signs that a company doesn't appreciate their culture and their team and doesn't appreciate the employees. How do you develop greater influence? Well, the first person you have to influence is yourself. And so when I meet people that want to be leaders or they want to be of influence and they can't influence themselves, then I see a massive gap. It's like you want to be something to others that you can't be to yourself. But when you can be of influence to yourself, when you can say no to the snooze button, when you can wake up early, when you can take care of yourself, when you can treat your body as a temple, when you can study when you don't want to, work out when you don't want to, when you can be there for a friend when it's inconvenient, and you can influence yourself to do what's right, to be of service, and to constantly grow, then you can influence others to do the same. And so people that want to increase their influence for external purposes, they're looking in the wrong direction. They should be increasing their internal influence so that their external influence will be felt by way of their internal influence. And that's the best formula for increasing your influence. How is AI going to help people grow? Well, AI can study the best practices of the best people, and it can emulate those practices, and it can disseminate those practices en masse. And so I think that it's going to be really exciting when wisdom holders get hooked up into the AI, and the AI studies these wisdom holders and extracts their best practices and extracts their emotionality and extracts the elements of them that are human and then uses that to better serve humanity. Right now, the computer is not very intelligent. It's certainly not emotionally intelligent. In fact, it has no concept of emotions at all, and that's what really powers the human experience is emotions. So the integration of emotions with computers and AI is going to change the nature of how we interface with computers, which will change the tools that we use. And when you look at the history of humanity, when we got the wheel, things changed. When we got the printing press, things changed. When we integrate emotions into AI, things are going to change. What are signs that someone's ungrateful in their life? They constantly want more. They're never satisfied. They have a nervous energy to them. They're accumulating a bunch of unnecessary possessions and things. And I just know that because that's exactly who I used to be. I was ungrateful. I wanted more, I had to have more. Wasn't happy with the car I had to have another car. Got another car, I had to have an even better car. Wasn't happy with that. Had a perfectly fine watch, had to get another watch. Pretty soon I had 30 watches and was ungrateful for any of my watches and any of my cars and any of my stuff. And so when you see a person accumulating a lot of stuff, it generally means that they lack gratitude. Because when you're really grateful for the things that you do have, you're not out there constantly craving new things and new stuff. Top 10 things that I'm grateful for? 10's a big number. The air that I breathe, the water that I drink, the food that I eat, the love that I have, the opportunities that I have, the sun, the moon, the trees, the plants, the animals, my son, that's 10. I mean, I could go on. The paintings on my walls. I have beautiful house plants. I love my house plants. They are so cute and they're growing and I just love my house plants. I love all kinds of plants and trees. I fall in love with all kinds of things. So I'm grateful for pretty much everything around me. And I try to expand in the depth of that gratitude. I went wide with gratitude, but you can go wide with gratitude and you can name all the things you have appreciation for, or you can go deep with gratitude. And so I practice both width and depth in my gratitude practice. How do you deal with tragedy in the workplace as a team member? Just be a good listener. Be there for people. Care enough to listen. If you really care, you'll listen. If you don't care, you might send them a text message and then not respond, or send them some sort of cliche thing if you don't care. But if you care, you'll just tell people, hey, I know you're going through some tough stuff. I don't understand it, and I'm here to listen. And just be a listener. That's all you have to do to help people. The better listener you are, and the more you care as a listener, the more people will feel you, and the more of a connection you'll have. What do I say to the people that are afraid of AI? You really have nothing to worry about in your lifetime. When it's going to get interesting is in several lifetimes from now, when the computers are more powerful, they're smarter, they're more efficient than we are. And ultimately, it's up to us to program into those computers off switches, so that way they don't run out of control. But there's going to be, a lot of challenges that are going to come our way, but it won't happen in our generation. So it's something that we'll have to worry about 100 years from now, not 10 or 20 years from now. How do I see AI helping lost and lonely people that have no one to turn to? Well, I think it'll be a friend in that case. And I think that there'll be conversational AIs that people can ask questions and get answers that are profound and very wise. And if they're programmed correctly, these conversational AIs could actually bridge people together. If an AI knows I'm a certain personality type and I have a certain emotionality to me and I have certain interests, and it can connect me to another human being that has similar interests and emotionality and personality types, then it can remove loneliness from the world. So I think that there's a lot of potential there. Right now, the current internet environment is extremely lonely, it's very one-dimensional, and it's very greed-oriented. The major platforms just want to steal my attention and sell that to advertisers, as opposed to deeply learn from me and be able to provide me value and service. These social media platforms that we have today are just simply trying to exploit me. And so I think there will be a lot of innovation in AI technology and computing technology where people will actually be served as opposed to exploited. Do I think that AI could ever play the role of a brother or a parent? No, but humans are easy to trick, and there will be use cases of AI where humans will make connections with them, perhaps maternal connections, or they'll make relationship connections, love connections, because humans have this deep desire for love and connection, and the computer will learn about that desire, and eventually the computer will serve us that desire. So we're already seeing it in certain industries like pornography and things like that, where they're experimenting with some pretty advanced technologies where people are actually forming relationships with AI. And so while I'm not a fan of that use case, it's an interesting one to understand, where people are literally having love affairs with AI right now as we speak. And so we'll see how that takes shape down the road, and how innovative companies take those use cases and then transform them into other ones. But there certainly will be robots that people fall in love with.
I hope you enjoyed this video. Do me a favor, like, subscribe, share, help boost this video. I want to get the word out about my work, and I could use your help. Thank you so much, and God bless.